Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WorldExplore student webinar. We're so excited to be able to share with you information on this great program, as well as answer any questions that you might have. Before we get started, I want to introduce you to this webinar. If you look on the panel, you'll see something that says Q&A. We have chat moderators that are standing by to answer any questions that you might have. If you have questions during the webinar, please put it in the Q&A and our moderators will get to it as soon as possible. We'll also leave time at the end for any outstanding questions, but we do encourage you to ask questions throughout and we'll get to them as soon as possible. A little about WorldStrides. WorldStrides has been around over 30 years, and we enable students to see beyond the classroom and to see the world and themselves in new ways. WorldExplore is a program for high school students that are in the grades of 9 through 12. Our domestic and international programs are designed to engage the senses, explore, and have fun through sampling what the best of the regions and their surrounding areas have to offer. WorldExplore is all about helping people identify their passion and translate that into possible options. No matter what interests you about visiting one of our domestic or international destinations, an experience that is deliberately designed and expertly managed is waiting for you. Through our WorldStrides program, we give students the opportunity to have unforgettable adventures, whether domestically or abroad, continue expanding their creativity and critical thinking skills to build the future that they want to live in, as well as learning more about themselves. We'll now go into some of our program locations. As mentioned, we have locations both in the United States as well as abroad. So we want to give a little bit of time to each one of our locations to really give you a sample of what the experience would be like. Our London program is a 9-day program that will occur in June. Step into one of the grand Romanesque or Victorian theaters in London's famed Theatreland. They'll see a modern day play and travel back in time to learn what it takes to put on a Shakespearean play in the open air Elizabethan Globe Theater. Students will attend a West End theater performance, visit the Tower of London, where they'll have a chance to see the Royal Crown Jewels, and visit the British Museum, engaging with one of the most comprehensive collections of art and artifacts in the world. We also have some additional activities that can be seen here on this slide, including other landmarks in London, different explorations to locations such as Stonehenge or Bath, taking a cruise upon one of the famed rivers, and interacting in interactive workshops. Next up, we'll talk about our Costa Rica program, which is a 10-day program held through each of the months of the summer. Costa Rica is one of the top destinations for the American traveler. And the WorldExplore Costa Rica program includes a range of activities designed to engage students in the culture and environmental beauty in the heart of Costa Rica. With their local tour director guiding them, students will travel throughout the country, experiencing all the culture offers. A part of the time will also include learning about the environment and conservation effort projects that are underway in Costa Rica. Other highlights include visiting different volcanoes and hiking through national parks. As we talked about with the conservation efforts, they'll also help to preserve the ecosystem by planting their own tree and go to different villages throughout Costa Rica. Now let's go to a couple of our domestic programs. Our New York City program is a 5-day program held in both June and July. A hub of both culture and creativity, students will explore New York City on guided tours that will take them from different boroughs, such as Manhattan to Brooklyn, experiencing the best that this world-renowned city has to offer. New York City is home to some of the most established art museums in the United States. Students will have the opportunity to explore art museums like the Met, the Whitney, and the Museum of Modern Art. They will also be able to enjoy a Broadway show and experience the infectious energy of Times Square. Next up is Washington, D.C., which is also another 5-day program in June and July. Go beyond the 1-day tour of Washington, D.C. with our WorldExplore program, with a licensed guide that will accompany the group and bring the living history to life. One of the highlights of this trip is going to Mount Vernon, destined to get you away from the hustle and bustle of downtown D.C. Just a short drive south along the Potomac River, you can tour the rooms of the mansion and learn more about the home of George Washington. Also, explore the large grounds, gardens, and living quarters to learn more about the stories of the servants and slaves who were core narratives in the development of the new nation. Other highlights include Monument Row, including the various monuments and memorials, as well as other institutions and museums on the National Mall, like the Smithsonian's. After a longer day out in the bright morning and afternoon light, step into the 18th century cobblestone streets of Old Town Alexandria for a ghost tour, led by a costumed guide and the glow of their lantern. Now let's go back overseas. The 11-day program in June and July is exploring Italy in depth. On this journey, students will experience the vast cultural and historical sites and experiences that Italy has to offer. Stops along this 11-day tour include Venice, Verona, Florence, Pisa, Assisi, and Rome. And each of these locations, there will be time to shop, visit museums, learn more about the history, take in the iconic scenery, and of course, sample the local cuisine. If you can't decide between London and Paris, we've combined them both for a 9-day excursion in June and July. For our London activities, there will be some guided sightseeing to places such as Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, the Houses of Parliament, Westminster Abbey, Tower Bridge, Hyde Park, St. Paul's Cathedral, and the Tower of London. They will then travel by Eurostar Rail to Paris. And also with the guided sightseeing tour, they will include stops at the Arc de Triomphe, Champs-Élysées, Eiffel Tower, Tuileries Garden, Palace Vendôme, and the Opera House. Our last adventure that we'd like to tell you about is our Icelandic adventure, which is 8 days in August. From glacial lagoons to the volcanic plateaus, words cannot do justice to Iceland's true beauty. As you walk amongst the waterfalls and soak in the volcanic hot springs, you cannot help but experience and appreciate this event like any other. Experience Iceland's history on a walking tour of some of Iceland's most famous sites, and take in a stop to explore the Icelandic Saga Museum, which highlights the history of settlement in Iceland. They'll also have some time to relax at the end of this trip while visiting the famous geothermal pool, the Blue Lagoon. So after hearing about these amazing locations and experiences, we want to go into more detail about what your fee will include. If you enroll in one of these programs, your fee includes the hotel accommodations at each one of the stops, transportation throughout the trip. For any of our programs that are outside of the US, there will be an international group flight from a designated departure location. Most meals will also be covered, but of course, we do like the students to be able to explore and experience things on their own. All the attractions that I mentioned and activities will also be covered. There will be a tour director, which is also known as a licensed tour guide, that will be guiding the students along each one of the activities and stops. And of course, the safety and support of the students will be included. There will be staff that are background checked and trained to be with the students at all times. They'll be staying in the same hotels with the students and make sure that they are safe as well as supported throughout their journey. In addition to the safety and support, we also have a great system called World Assist. With World Assist, we are able to have 24/7 assistance to take care of any of our needs, whether that be missed flights or cancellations, as well as connecting to some of our doctors and medical needs that might arise on the trip. But as I like to say in show business, but wait, there's more. If you enroll in one of our programs and you have a friend that would like to travel along with you, you will receive $200 off of the price of enrollment, and so will they. Enrollment is now open. This QR code will link you directly to our enrollment page for WorldExplore. You can decide on whichever location best meets your needs and satisfies your curiosity. And if you have any questions about the WorldExplore program, either during the enrollment process or after you have enrolled, you can reach out to our phone number, which is 844-320-0393. Again, 844-320-0393. Our hours of operation are on this slide, and we will be available at any time to answer your questions. At this time, we would like to thank you so much for coming to this webinar and hearing more about the WorldExplore programs. We hope that at least one of those destinations has piqued your curiosity. And if you have any questions, we are available via chat right now, as well as contacting our Office of Admissions if you have any questions about enrollment or any of the locations. Now at this time, we will take a look at any questions that have been asked throughout this webinar. We're sure if you have a question, there's someone else that has that same question, so we want to answer as many live as possible. So thank you so much for those that have been asking questions throughout. A big thank you to our chat moderators for answering them. But we will leave a few moments in case there are any questions that you all still have that we can answer for everyone. So we have a great question here about this age group of which can attend the World Explore program. So at this time, the World Explore program is only for high school students that are enrolled in the 9th through 12th grades. I see a couple more questions are coming in. It's a good question about the enrollment costs, and actually I will go back to the previous slide. So if you do plan on enrolling in the program and you know of another person that would like to also come to the program with you, not only will you receive $200 off of your enrollment, but the person who also signs up will also receive $200 off of their enrollment. So not only do you get to come to the program with a friend to share in this experience, but both of you will also receive $200 off each of your enrollments. There's a good question here about high school students and what that means for those that will be rising freshmen in high school. So when we got the program in the summer, if your student will be going into the 9th grade for the upcoming school year, then they are eligible to come to the program. So we're looking for 9th through 12th graders that would like to apply. Again, enrollment is open and you can feel free to use that QR code that's on your screen that will bring you directly to our enrollment page. If you are thinking of coming to one of our international programs, you will still need to bring a passport or visa depending on the location that you are wanting to enroll in. And we do know that some of those appointments to get a passport renewed or to get one issued is taking longer than anticipated recently. So if that is something that you are thinking about doing, we would really like for you to go ahead and get that process started so you're not running out of time toward closer to the actual start of the program. I see some more questions rolling in, so I will just wait for people to stop typing and then we can answer a couple more on the air once we have everyone here. Hey, there's a question here about the group flights for those international locations. So, yes, we will share specifics about what that group flight looks like if you're signing up for an international destination. So that will become available after you enroll in the program. So specifics such as what airport that group flight will be coming out of, the airline, and all of that other key details will be coming as soon as you enroll in the program. And that's just for our international programs. All right, I see your questions are coming in a little slower now, so we can go ahead and give one more minute. If there are any other burning questions that you have, we really, really encourage you to send them in to us now while we have the experts from the program here to answer them. We want to answer as many questions as possible, but of course, you can always reach out to us at the Office of Admissions afterward. There's a question here about some of our enrollment deadlines and what is the best way to keep up with those. So if you go to our webpage, you can find all the information about the deadlines for this program, as well as after you click on that QR code, you can get more information about what those deadlines are. For those of you that would like the website for the WorldExplore program, it is explore.worldstrides.com. So again, that's explore.worldstrides.com. That will give you more information about each one of our locations. So if you have any questions or want to know about the deadlines, you can always look on the website. And once you have enrolled your child into the program, you'll have your own personalized web page that you can go to that will give you all the deadlines for anything needed after you have enrolled before the start of the program. It does look like most of the deadlines for enrollment are coming up next month. So if you are interested in signing up for this program, we ask you to do that before those deadlines. And again, if you have someone else that would like to come with your students, both you and that other student will get $200 each off of your enrollment. All right, well, I see the questions are coming in even slower now. So we can go ahead and end the webinar for everyone. Thank you again so much for coming to this webinar. I hope that you were able to get more information about these amazing programs and locations for this summer. If you do have any other questions about the WorldExplore program, please reach out to us at our Office of Admissions at 1-844-320-0393. And you can also look at our website, which is explore.worldstrides.com. Again, for attending this webinar, reach out to us if you have any questions, and we look forward to welcoming your student to the WorldExplore program this summer.